All right, what is going on, everyone? Little impromptu late night kind of get together, hang out. Uh, I don't know. Got a board tonight, so not much going on. Some good little football going on earlier, but not much now. Uh, Try a new setup too. Camera's up a little higher, so if my eyes seem to be down here because the camera's a little higher. Um, StreamYard link is posted also at the top of the chat, so go ahead and check that if you want to jump in here and talk about whatever. We can talk about sports. We can talk about, football specifically. We can talk about urbex, paranormal, just hang out, drink. Don't matter to me. Someone's got to fill the late night slot. I don't intend to stay all night, but if people jump in and want to chat, obviously, kind of let you guys dictate how long this goes, because otherwise, my ass will just go drink and pass out, I guess. I ain't got nothing better to do. Yeah, like old man Joey Foster here. There we go. There's a perfect subject to jump in and test that West Virginia Wi-Fi. You ain't got nothing better to do, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. Too, as did the channel here for Exploring Ben and Sam. We got a bunch of stuff coming up. A bunch of stuff still in the works. A couple of these are taking a lot longer to edit and produce than I would like to admit. But hey, when you have that much more stuff you have to add into a video, it takes time. So it's all good. It's all good. But in a little bit, I might give a sneak preview to what is coming up potentially. A little sneak preview. Haven't set the date or time exactly when that's supposed to come out, but somewhere in the next 2 weeks, I think. Waiting on another individual to set that date. So anyone again who wants to jump on, hit the StreamYard link. Come on. If I don't know you, I will. Don't porn bomb me. Swear to God, as flattering as it is, it's annoying. It's already happened a couple times. If I want to see that, I'll just go to Pornhub or something like that. Oh, Jesus! YouTube already struck me for that. I should stop doing these late night shows. If no one wants to come up and talk about anything, drop something in the chat, ask a question, ask a comment, do anything. I'm just here. Why not? No one else is doing anything live tonight, so again, someone has to do something to help fill the void and waste other people's time. I'm trying to do that myself. And yes, I know, Joey, you are loving this mustache. I know. But I think it's going away today. Sorry. Sorry to disappoint you. Well, we'll see. I'm going to give it a little bit and see if anyone jumps in here to have a conversation or ask questions. Like I said, I'm letting everyone dictate in the chat and or who joins in how long this goes. We don't go live that much, maybe once a month, maybe, and usually then there's no real set agenda. So, well, you'd have to ask the Oregon State Beaver fans that. And they're not woodchucks, but they're beavers, so you would have to ask them. They would know much more likely the answer to that question than I would. Just say, yeah. See? There. Perfect. Connor, answer this question. Answer the question, Connor. How many chucks would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Jesus fuck. Jesus. See, I said ask a Beaver fan, and Connor pops in. It's like he's got that signal. He knows. We weren't even talking. We weren't even talking trash about the Beavers. It's like we weren't even talking trash. All of it. Yeah, we weren't even talking anything negative about the Beavers. Joey just asked a question. Connor, jump up here and have a conversation with me. I'm bored. Everyone's bored. Hence why you're still you're West Coast, so it's only 10:37 for you. 12:37 for me. Again, I don't know why old man Joey's still awake. He's usually his meds put him out by now. Usually. Oh, all the green. Hold on. I can do something for that, Connor. Maybe. There we go. Is that better? Is that better for you, Connor? Is that better? I think it makes this more apparent and more nauseating than the green. But hey, I'll be nice. Well, so does Clemson. Fuck those people. Joey, that's because welfare doesn't even cover your living expenses. Well, this is still the lights, Connor. This is still the lights. It's just I changed the color for you. And you want orange? There. Is that better? Is that better? It's a little more lighting, but it's orange. How about that? I'm easy going. I can fluctuate. It says it's orange. It's not very orange though. Well, then you have to buy me a separate set of lights, Joey, so I can do two colors at once. I can only do one color at once, for fuck's sake. I can do maybe blue for you. Actually, blue's not bad. Blue's not bad. Blue's not too bad. Lights up Old Glory back here pretty nicely. What are you doing tonight, Connor? You silly beaver. I'm guessing still recovering from the Wazoo loss. It's a tough one. Pullman, as we know, Pullman is no joke of a place to play. Weird things happen there no matter what you do. Yeah. Oh yeah. Tomorrow is Rising back tomorrow for sure for the Utes because I don't think they stand a chance if they don't have Rising. I know their defense is good, but they can only go so long without an actual offense. Had to sneeze. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a tough one though. And regardless, Utah again has a really good defense. Yeah, no, yeah. I thought Rising was back this last week, so I don't see how much longer they can keep him out because if they can't score, if they can't score at least 21 points a game offensively, I mean that defense can only hold up for so long. So again, anyone popping in here too, the StreamYard link is pinned at the top of the comment section. Go ahead, click it, jump in, have some conversation. If I don't know you, I'm gonna have to hide you a little bit. I don't want to get porn bombed. And yeah, pretty simple. No, well, I'm Joey. I don't think so. Maybe. Is it at TCU? I didn't check the schedule that in depth. I saw a lot of the games. I didn't see the who is at where. I have to assume West Virginia is at TCU. Ugh, it's a tough ask. What is it? What is it? TCU like -7 or something? I'm just guessing the line right now. Maybe it's like -7 or something. Yes, I saw that today too. Apparently, there's an opening coming up where maybe the Big 12 takes you guys, which would be great. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I really wish the Big 10 would have just swooped you both up too with us, with Washington and Oregon, and just been like, we want all the corner schools, but you know, hopefully the Big 12 at least comes in and says, hey, we'll take you. Then Cal and Stanford look stupid going to the ACC. uh, Cal and Stanford. Time to chop that tree down this weekend. No, okay. Keep your confidence up, Joey. Keep your confidence up. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I, I do. I do hope that both Oregon and Washington, in conjunction with Oregon State and Washington State, keep the rivalries going as a non-con every year. If they don't, it would be a tragedy. That's why I was really hoping that the Big Ten would just say, we'll take all four of you and just end it. But they didn't, and yeah, here we are. So I know both schools said they want to keep it going, and I think with Fox having that type of thing, I think they're going to want to keep it something along the lines. I don't see why we couldn't, especially if USC and Notre Dame and Stanford, Notre Dame get to keep their shit. Wow, why couldn't we have one a year? So, that's awfully well. Okay, we're going to see. So what happens if you lose to TCU? Is that instant heart attack, Joey? Basically, that's what you're saying. You're just going to instantly no Thailand for you. No Thailand. No, no. Me love you long time. Me dying. Son, we chopping the trees down this week. We chopping those academic trees down. And if we don't, I will die. I won't be on the post game show. I won't be on the Sunday show. I will just go bury myself alive. Hands down. No questions asked. Well, it's the same too, though. Connor, if Connor loses to Utah this weekend, they'll be you'll be 0-2 in the Pac-12 then, and I think Connor immediately will go, all right, you know what, season's done. It's the same as if we lost to Stanford all of a sudden. It'd be like, yeah, I'm done. Like Colorado was a bigger hangover than I thought it would be. Media's fucking pissing me off about Colorado shit. I'm fucking tired of hearing about Colorado. No matter what, doesn't matter. Oregon beat the shit out of Colorado, and everyone's like, "Oh, everyone hates Dion." Like, fuck that. It's just we're tired of it. We just beat the shit out of a bad team. Get over it. Poor Connor. Poor Connor. I mean, trust me, it's rough. Wazoo and then Utah back to back. That's tough. And it's like Colorado having to go to Oregon and then play USC back to back weeks. That's tough. You know, that's like, ooh, yeesh. That's tough. Those aren't one of those things like you look forward to. It's like we pointed out specifically for the Oregon post game shows and weekly show. Colorado has to play at the end of the season on the road. On the road, I think Oregon State and then Utah on the road. I think it was something like that, or Wazoo and then Utah on the road, back to back weeks. I'm like, yeesh. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Better than old airbags. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Connor. Crazy beaver. Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to pull this up in the side. Oh, by the way, make sure to hit that like button. It helps a lot. Spreads the show around. Thank you very much. Doesn't take a second. It's free to do, and it doesn't cost you a damn thing. Obviously, since it's free. That makes sense, doesn't it? Some days I amaze myself. I know. My lungs. Who needs those? I can get dual lung implants these days. Who needs it? Who worries about that shit? Ask Joey about that. Joey probably has like 2 cigarettes in his mouth at the same time right now. I am looking forward to watching the Utah Oregon State game tomorrow, though. I am looking forward to watching it. Hell, even tonight, tonight I almost, or well, I guess yesterday. Now on Thursday morning, I actually almost bought tickets to Sam Houston or Jacksonville at Sam Houston's State, Jacksonville State at Sam Houston State. I almost bought tickets for that because the tickets for row one on the sideline, like the 50-yard line, were like $20 a ticket. And Sam's alma mater is Sam Houston State. That actually turned out to be a hell of a game. I watched it, but I was like, yeah, I don't feel like driving the 45 minutes north to go to fucking Sam Houston, the university, to sit for the game. So we didn't go. Hell of a game though. Yeah. Like what Joey just said, your kind of show, your kind of shit show, LW. It's been on for like 20 minutes. Where the fuck have you been? Link for the StreamYard is at the top of the screen, top of the chat. Click it. Don't click it. I don't give a fuck. Well, no one else is live again. So someone's got to fill the void. I mean, that's all I can say. Just how it is. Who here wants to see a preview? I think Joey does. Joey wants to see a preview of the upcoming video that Joey and I worked. Well, we both worked. Well, Joey worked kind of hard on the phone and through emails. I worked hard in person, suffered doing it. Who wants to see a preview of this video? Joey, you're a fucking idiot. Swear to God. I'm not even going to answer that. It's like, I'm not going to answer that fucking question. It's like, who wants to see a preview though? Because Joey worked really hard on this. Again, mostly with texting and talking and running his mouth, and I had to physically suffer doing it. But who wants to see a short, brief preview of the new video coming up in 2 weeks? About either you say, let's see it, yes, I want to see it, or say, no, it doesn't matter, I'm playing it anyways. But fuck you. No one else is on here to stop me, so. All right, fuck you. We're doing it. Enjoy.
I was close to an anxiety attack.
Oh my god. Yeah, they got. Oh, my gloves got filled. Wait, so you guys have never been.
This is new. We have not gone down this far.
Like, our guides don't know.
This is the new stuff. So we actually don't know where the hell we are right now. We're just trying to figure this out at this point.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, there's a school.
Dude, this is sick!
This is scary too, though. Now down here, there's no map.
Oh,
I am gonna warn you.
It's just filled with bones. So this is literally where they would dump them.
Oh my god, the bones are like catching on everything.
Oh.
It's catching on the waiters. It's catching. There we go.
Oh, there's a bone literally at the entrance. Above your head.
Oh god. Whew. Oh god, yeah, this final step. Holy shit.
This is insane. There's just bones everywhere.
How far does that go? Super far? Ah. There you go. That will be the premiere coming up eventually. Hence the markings to say not set when it's going to premiere. Because I'm waiting on the date. So at least I can go back and edit it. That shit left me with 2 permanent scars on my right leg. You're welcome, Joey. Son of a bitch. Not even good scars. Like, fuck. It took weeks to heal. I don't know who the fuck you are, Quint, but if you want to wear a bikini, you go ahead and you wear a bikini. Hey, props to you. Props to you. There we go. Don't trust this man, though. I take his message here. That's a good message. But don't trust a man that looks like this. James is stalking and watching everyone. He has all of your information already and creeping you. All of Canada knows who you are, even though most of us aren't Canadian. So that's just how it goes. It is. But as I tell everyone, Connor, go check my channel. We've been there 3 times. This was the 4th time that we've gone there. And everything you see in videos or other YouTube videos about that place is, for the most part, hype pure bullshit. It's they like, oh my god, the police. Well, the police really don't give 2 shits. And then you see people dive into the opening. You don't dive into that opening. You do not dive into that opening. You would kill yourself if you did. There's no, it's all bullshit. Hashtag where's Sam? Yeah, Sam is dead asleep. He's actually took tomorrow off because he's sick. So he did not like when I said, "Hey, I'm going to do a live stream." He was like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because I can. Why the fuck can't I?" We need to get this trending on Twitter. I told people we need to get this trending on Twitter. Hashtag where is Sam? So everyone can come up. Don't trust me. Don't trust you. You're a Canadian spy, James. No one trusts you. You just sit there quietly and awkwardly with that beautiful, beautiful head of yours. That sounded wrong. That sounded really wrong. Can I cut this? Or, damn it, Jesus Christ. I'm not even gonna respond. I'm not even gonna respond to that. I'm not even gonna respond. That could go so badly. I'm not even going to. That's not the hashtag, Joey. Get with the times. It's hashtag where is Sam. It's this one. Hashtag where is Sam. That's been the theme for like a month now. And but no one's no one's been making it viral. Ah, got it. Got it. Now it makes sense, James. Now it makes sense. That's why no one's up on the panel right now. I don't know what type of relationship you have with Sam, Connor, but I'm going to have questions for him in the morning. That's probably for the best, to be honest. I only use Twitter to promote certain things. I don't sit on there like some people do and just scroll all day long. There's so much nonsense and bullshit on there. It's fucking ridiculous. Like TikTok. I only publish stuff on TikTok. I don't sit and look through TikTok. I don't think I've ever sat and scrolled through a TikTok feed at all. I just post shit. That's it. I could give 2 fucks. Mm. This has all been sad news for the most part, huh, Connor? Mm. Poor beavers. You're never on cam anyways. It's just your fucking pool table. Everyone just wants to see your pool table. No one wants to see you. Which you're like, yeah, that's true. That's actually true. And who the hell wears jammies? 85? Well, like I said, dude, again, StreamYard's linked at the top of the chat. Anyone drop in. Don't have to have a camera on. But if I don't know you, I'm going to not get porn bombed this time. We had enough ass the last time. We don't need any more of that. Oh, the story. This is perfect late night storytelling. This is perfect late night storytelling. Everyone wants to hear about you getting raped by the aliens. I mean, poked by the alien. Damn it, YouTube. Don't hurt me, YouTube. YouTube's an ass when it comes to certain words. Probe. Okay, probe. That's fine. There should be a there should be an exception where someone actually has to censor a video because of a word, and then look at the person and go, "Oh, they're drinking. That's why they said it." It's just unfiltered speech. There should be something like that. Well, come on up and tell us your probing story. That'd be amazing. I'll rename the show allegedly because that's original. Not stealing it from Child Fools or anything like that. Gotta put the food away first. Well, okay. I guess while we're waiting, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw on some of this and see if we can get this video blocked again. So you take your time, you come back, and we're gonna put this on for a second. I'm not gonna put it on long enough to get blocked again, though.
We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain. We jumped, never asking why. We kissed, I fell under your spell. A love no one could deny. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I can't live a lie, running for my life. I will always want you.
I like how TF came in immediately as soon as Ron Jeremy started playing. He was like, "Yo, yo, yo, Ron Jeremy, my boy." Hell yeah. That or his ears were burning because I was going to steal allegedly as a show title because he's not using it or anything. That probably already got me copyrighted. Who gives a shit? StreamYard is at the top of the chat section. Click it, people. No one gives a shit, James. You creep everyone else till like 3 a.m. Again, this show goes on as long as people are around. There was no agenda tonight, as usual. We don't have fancy trivia or bingo nights here on this channel. We just have talk about whatever. I don't trust this old man. I need to see a camera, Joey, for a split second. Joey's in the back room, but I need to see a face. I'm not trusting it. I've been porn bombed a few too many times. I'm not getting porn bombed by an 85-year-old man. Quiet, you silly beaver. Oh God, that is that old man.
I
Jeez,
told you.
jeez.
Damn you. That's what they make overlays for, dummy. Put an overlay up and bring me in.
Well, no, if I put an overlay, I can't see you still, because then it covers the
Well,
screen.
sure you can, because you'll hear my voice. Just put an overlay up and talk to me.
I'll hear your voice, but that's it. I just said so I can see in the background. That's all I'm talking about.
You don't need to see me.
You are not the voice of college football either.
You don't need to see me.
That's Mark Rogers.
What are you talking about?
Your
Oh,
thing is the voice of college football.
yeah,
That's Mark Rogers.
that's in my stream because of a lot of meetings that I go to.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a
Mm-hmm.
meeting today, and it was for the voice of college football. So I have to put that on there to recognize people know who I am.
I'm not invited to any of these secret meetings that I see in the StreamYard either.
Some of these secret meetings you don't want to be a part of.
Probably not.
Now, hell, I'm laying here in bed. My phone goes off, and I'm like, damn, somebody texted me because it's the same damn sound for YouTube as it is for text. And it's you going live. I'm like, you're worse than TF. 1:30 night, powerful live.
I was watching the Jacksonville State Sam Houston State game where I was about to buy tickets because Sam's alma mater is Sam Houston State, but we just didn't want to drive up there, and they were cheap, and it was a good game, pretty damn good game. But then I waited, and I'm like, no one's going live tonight. Okay.
Jacksonville State. That's Rich Rodriguez saying it.
Yep. They won 35-28 in overtime.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good game. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to stay. I was just coming in for a second. Say howdy. I'm looking forward to this weekend. There's some pretty good games on. But I think I'm looking more forward to seeing West Virginia than anything, mainly because it's my team. But the other thing, too, is how good are they? You know, they beat a Pitt team that's kind of down. You know, they beat a Texas Tech team that's not very good this year. You know,
And
they hung in there with
lost
Penn
their
State.
quarterback.
Yeah, they hung in there with Penn State for a little while. West Virginia lost their quarterback too.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just you know, how good are we? And we might find out at TCU. You know.
I mean, TCU has an offense at least, so at least you'll be challenged a bit.
Now, you know,
why are we talking about second-rate teams right now? Why are we talking about second-rate teams?
I'm sorry. Well, we should be talking about Oregon then all day long if we're going to talk about first-rate teams.
I'd rather be playing Miami or Oregon than TCU. At least we'd have a shot because y'all can't make playoffs.
I mean, all of you have to realize Miami's like, top 10 in defense and offense this year. We're gonna run it the whole way. We're going like 300 and at least 72-0. We're taking it all, man.
I think we are top 10 in defense.
I was about to say we just did this the other night on the Oregon show. Oregon is technically number 2 to 3 in offense, depending on if you count Notre Dame, because Notre Dame had
Where's Miami at?
We didn't look, but they're number 2 or 3 in offense and number 11 defense nationally.
Okay, look up Miami right now, man.
I don't want to look at Miami. Why do you look at Miami?
Because you don't want to look at it. You don't want to look at it.
I'm on my phone and can't look. What are the top 25 defenses?
I'll let Ben tell us. It's his show. I'm just here.
Top 25 defenses and top 25 offenses. I know West Virginia's offense.
I'd like to hear it.
120th.
I'd like to hear what Ben.
Okay.
Hey Ben, how was Georgia?
Georgia's not in the top 20.
No. I mean your trips to Georgia.
No, that was a fucking shit show. I mean, in the sense of like everything worked, but it was a shit show. We got to Atlanta.
Well,
And
as
like
long as everything
11,
worked, then
yeah,
I'm
we
sure
got to, but
Sam's
we got to
happy.
Atlanta at like 11 p.m. I was like, okay, cool. That was when we were supposed to get there. No problems. Went to the car rental, hour and a half in line, and they're like, hey, we can't take your paper copy of your driver's license, even though you're in our system and you have your passport,
Oh
just to
Lord.
verify your ID. So they're like, no, we can't take this. Nowhere else had cars. Everywhere was closed. No flights to Savannah. I'm like, well, fuck us. Finally, about 30, 40 minutes later, I went to the other rental checkout, like the premier line, and they were about to close. They should have been closed already, but there was so
But
many
they
people.
rented you a car.
Yeah, there was so many people there. They had stayed open late, and she was like, "Yeah, no, all I need is your passport. Just verify your ID."
Right. That's all you ever need.
Because I'm already in their system as a premier member. And she's like, "Yeah, that's fine. Do you want this or this?" I'm like, I'll take whatever. I don't give a shit. I just want a car."
Right.
So we left there at like 1 in the morning.
Oh no.
Went to our filming location at like got there by like 4 in the morning. Did an hour of filming. My camera acted up during the filming multiple
Oh
times. I was
Lord.
like, "What the fuck is happening right now?"
So it was a clusterfuck. Did you have
At least I
fun?
got short. At least I got some shorts to do. So I was like,
Did
"All
you
right,
have
cool."
fun though? That's what
Yeah,
matters.
yeah. But they got to Savannah at like 7:30 in the morning. Went to sleep. Got up at like noon, just in time to watch the first half of the Duck game. Then went to the show. Woke up the next morning. Drove back to Atlanta. Then the
No,
plane got
sounds like a
delayed for
nightmare.
like an hour and a half.
Oh my god. What are you flying like Spirit?
No, Delta. It was Delta. They said they had some computer issue with a storm over the southeast. I'm like, there's no storms. What are you talking about? Are you confused with Philadelphia?
Oh Lord.
Because we got to
Well,
the gates like,
sometimes it has to do with where the plan is like like
well, yeah, no, I know, but
and where the previous plan,
we were,
plane landed, blah blah
no,
blah.
no. I mean, I got that, but we're already taxiing. The plane had landed early, and
Okay.
we're taxiing. They were like, well, we're going back to the gate. So we sat there. It was like 40 minutes. Like, we're going to let you off. They're just trying to figure out, make sure we have gate agents up so they can let you back on the plane. It might be 2 to 3 hours. Then 20 minutes later, they're like, oh, never mind. I guess we're taking off. And started
Yeah,
taxiing.
I,
And
I
I'm like,
like when
are
they
you
give you that
fucking
excuse.
kidding me?
How many times have you heard that excuse that we're waiting on the flight attendant?
Oh,
Where they have to try to find a flight attendant. It's like Jesus Christ.
the
We
worst
don't even need them. Like, just leave me alone.
the worst
It's
one
like an
I've
hour,
ever
20 minute
fucking
drive.
had was going to Turkey to go to Ukraine and Paris a couple years ago. We got on the plane, Turkish airline. We sat on the plane for 4 hours.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Almost, well, it was about 3.5 hours. Then they took us off the plane and we waited about an hour. And we're like, just cancel the flight. We'll come back tomorrow.
Right.
And they were like, all right, everyone back on the plane. So we took off. We missed the next flight to go to Ukraine. So then, but there was another flight 5 hours later. So not the worst thing in the world. Cool. Hung
Well,
out in
I always like those idiots that like pay for priority boarding or like I want to be the first person to sit here
No.
for an hour and a half while I wait for this asshole like traveling fools to get on the plane. Yeah. I'm the last person to get on any plane ever. They're like, oh, would you like to move through, sir? Nope. No. Just let me know.
That's
Just
why
let me know.
I don't, even with priority boarding, I like to wait till almost the end because I'm going
Oh
to sit on the
yeah.
fucking plane for 10 hours anyways. So
Right.
we did that. We got off the plane for an hour. Everyone was heckling the staff, and I was just like, just cancel the flight for fuck's sake. And then we got on the flight though, took off, got there, missed the next flight because we were already delayed. So we only had like 2 hours. We missed it by a couple hours. I was like, all right, whatever. The next flight's in 5 hours. Cool, no problem. Got to Ukraine. Guess where my bag was? Still in Turkey. And that had all the
I was
filming
just
gear,
rushing.
all the filming gear for Chernobyl the next day. Or like
Yeah,
a
it's fucked up.
day and a half later, sorry. The next day, we went back to the airport and luckily it was there. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, this whole trip would have been fucking ruined. Absolutely ruined if they had lost my bag. I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill people.
So I carry on all like any recording stuff or
Yeah, but I can't carry
I
that many.
carry
I
it.
can't carry that many batteries.
Well,
On.
I tell you what, the first thing I would
That's
do.
kind of the problem. I can't carry that many batteries on for lights and stuff like that. That's kind of the big issues. I couldn't carry all
I
that
made
shit
a trip
on.
somewhere. If I made a trip somewhere and it was to film a video, I would upload that thing unlisted or something on YouTube before I ever even traveled back to the United States in case my camera got lost or something. So you at least have some footage of it.
As to TF's question, real quick, at least looking at total offense, Oregon is number 2, Washington is number 1, Southern Cal number 3, Miami is number 8.
Fine, not bad.
No, not bad, not bad at all, not bad at all. Total defense. Let me see, where is total defense? It's in here somewhere. Why do I have to scroll so fucking far to find total? There we go. Total
To
defense.
find Oregon.
No, total defense.
Oh.
The tab. Total defense. Oregon is ranked number 11, and Miami is ranked number 13,
All right, there we go.
which is pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, if you're in the top 20 at this point in the season, that's a
Right
good.
on both sides of that.
Well, where is
Yeah.
West Virginia in defense? Or is West Virginia ranked in defense?
Let me scroll here.
Hold on, page 2. Here we come.
For since
Oh, there we go.
Connor's in here, Oregon State is ranked number 45. Now, of course, a lot of these after like 20 are so close together. It's literally by a couple yards, that differentiates. But West Virginia,
I would think we've got to be in the top 25 in defense.
damn. No, you're not. Texas is number 26. Kansas is 21. West Virginia, I'm scrolling. I'm at 50. You're not there.
Damn.
Page 2.
I can't
Yeah,
imagine.
11. You have to go to page 2.
Page 2.
It's nice to be on page 1.
Like South and Southern Cal is at 70. Washington's at 72. I'm surprised with that. I think they just
They
let up
have
a
no
lot of
team.
yards at the end of the game. I don't see you on the second page either, Joey. Hold on.
Well, you don't have to have a look at us. You got to be. I can't do it because I'm on my phone. Connor,
No,
look
no,
at
no.
us.
I know. I have. That's what I'm saying. I must have missed you somewhere because I'm like, I'm on the final page. I'm like, I haven't seen. It must be one of those things where I literally saw you and then I just like, I didn't fucking notice it.
Yeah,
Oh
it's probably
God!
cool.
Here we go. Here's this guy. He's like, hey, what the fuck I was talking about?
See, now I've got all the bright lights on. So
Turn them off. Turn them off.
turn it off. Turn it off. You're turning.
Oh,
it
there
on.
you are. There you are, Joey. I apologize. There you are. Yeah, like I said, I must have seen you and just skipped over accidentally. It's one of those like it's right there.
Wait, what? Where do they come in at?
Joey, West Virginia by the NCAA is number 34 in total defense, which is still not bad. I mean, you think
Page 2. I mean, you made it to page 2.
if you have
That's
a good
kinda
offense, if you're in the top 30s defensively, you have a good shot. It just depends on if your offense can help carry that little extra.
Actually, you can be a top 40 or 50 defense if you've got a good offense.
Well, that's it. That's why we've been saying Oregon this year. Last year, had we just had a top 30 defense, we would have been.
Well, that's not good.
Oh, yeah, woulda,
We're still
coulda.
early in the season.
Could have, yeah, would have, could have.
Oregon could finish 80th in the country. We don't know.
Oh
they
yeah,
most
no,
likely
it's
will.
going to change. It's going to change.
Yeah, they most likely will.
Oh,
We're gonna
shit's
play
about to
some-
get interesting.
Miami,
sure.
Miami will be lucky to be on the map.
Oh, Miami's going all the way, man. You watch this.
Miami's going to sink in the ocean.
Mountaineers and Beavers will
Climate change.
be fighting for number 1 spot.
Miami's gonna upset Clemson. I mean, we're gonna take FSU to the woodshed. We'll probably fuck up and lose one game along the way. But
At
we're going to
this
be
point-
going to the ACC
Hold on.
championship.
I have to stop your delusion. I have to stop your delusion right there. Beating Clemson is not an upset at this point.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. How do you upset Clemson?
They're already 0-2 in the ACC. That's not an
It'll
upset.
still be though. It'll still be Clemson will be favored in that game. We play them first. Clemson will be favored.
PPR, how are you doing over there?
I'm
Anyway,
good.
anyway,
I was
Ben, I
thinking
saw you
about
live. I just wanted to jump on here and tell you I loved you, brother. And I'm about to go to bed. I've been smoking chili. I gotta go get it off the grill. And yeah,
smoking
that's what I'm
chili. Is that the new
Smoking,
code word?
yeah, smoking chili.
No. Honestly, it's not a code word. I've been smoking chili for like the past
Yeah.
8 hours. And yeah,
I've been
So
I'm
sipping
getting ready for
chili
Saturday.
juice for like
So
8
they put
hours.
chili powder in
Yeah.
meth. They put chili powder in meth, don't they?
I wish I'd still be awake right now.
Damn it. Now you mentioned chili, and I'm like, God damn it! Now I want chili for Saturday.
Yeah, I got the bomb ass chili.
God damn it.
Ben, I'll be listening in the background. I love you, my brother. You know that.
Hey, that's why I say it. Love you too, and I let everyone. I'm just letting this dictate itself. I'm like, hey, no one else is live, so why not?
All right,
Fuck around.
exactly. All right, I may pop back on, but I gotta go get this chicken. My wife needed me to smoke on the grill, off the grill, so I gotta go do that. I love you guys. I'll be listening.
All right.
We'll be here.
Yeah. I'm gonna get out of here too, Ben, because I was just coming in to say howdy, but I'm in bed.
As I take 10 minutes to find the X.
I've been
It's
booked.
the-
I'll
it's
get
the
out of here
X.
too.
All right, old
Have
man.
have a good night, man.
All right, old man.
All right. Now
He
you were
doesn't call me.
mentioning
He doesn't call me anymore. So fuck Joey.
you're mentioning flights. The thing you got to remember about aircrafts and airlines. I don't care which airline you're thinking of. They all run on DOS and Windows 95. A lot of them are actually Windows 3.1.
Yes.
Your
No.
reservation system is like older than you are.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, this last one was just bizarre because we were taxiing, and they're like, "Hey, we're having a problem with the computer system tracking storms," and we're like,
Yep.
There's no storms overhead." And then they're like, "Hey, we're gonna reset it. We're gonna let you off the plane. It's gonna take a couple hours." And then they're like, "Oh, I guess we're wrong. We're taking off." We're like, because
don't
we're all
forget what's
looking, we're all
happening.
looking at it. We're like, "There's no." I think they got the computer system wrong for Philadelphia, where they were having massive storms and flooding.
Mhm.
But we were in the southeast, and we're like, we were just like, Jesus Christ. It was just one of those things that was like,
Yeah, actually, it happened during an election. I don't remember the state, and it wasn't. I don't think it was a state election. I think it was like for a mayor or something. But they randomly had 4,096 extra votes just show up. And what it was the computer that they were using to tabulate the votes was very old. And 4,096 is a computer number. So what it tells you is something came in, neutrino maybe, and flipped one of the bits in the memory. And it came into this exact perfect number, which is 4096, which is, it's in computers, you count you go by doubles, but you could consider it counting by eights. And if you do the math on it, you'll find out it's one of those perfect numbers that comes up. Like, I got 256 gigs of RAM, and then you double it the next time, right? Now I got 512, and then I got 1024, and then 2048, and then 4096.
mm-hmm.
And that represents one of those circuits. So the computers for the airlines are the same way. And for, 5 years here, we're going through a solar max, which means all of those ancient ass computers, they just go haywire because they're not shielded for that kind of thing.
Which is amazing to me, with especially all the technology we have today and all the investment and money in something like the airlines, why it's still so fucking complicated for them to do the simplest shit. You ask them to do something, and it takes them like 5 to 10 minutes just to go through the system and do these things. I'm like, come on. You guys have to have a better system than fucking DOS. Like, I mean, there's got to be some a better way to do this.
That's why it's so hard to hack, because it's so old. Nobody remembers how to use it.
Well, even they don't know how to fucking use it half the time. But then again, too, the other day it was amazing. Before that delay, when we were going through, which Atlanta Airport is a fucking shit show. They have, 4 terminals: A, B, C, and D. All of them go through one security checkpoint. That shit was 800, like 700 people deep.
Oh yeah,
for security. I'm like, I've only been to Atlanta once, and I never went outside because there was a smoking room way back in the day inside the airport, and that was when I was going to basic training. So we just didn't meet somewhere, and there was a smoking room nearby. So I never saw the security point. So this time it was like, holy shit, what a fucking clusterfuck. But there were 2 people in front of us that got stopped at the TSA because their ticket didn't match their ID, and I'm like, how did they didn't have a check bag, or the airline obviously doesn't check your ticket. They just see your ID and go, okay, cool, this is your bag. But their names didn't match their IDs on the ticket. So they got pulled to the side and we're creating a fucking chaotic scene. I'm like, just kill me. Yeah. Kill me.
Oh, hey, like one of those little guards, like an 18-year-old rent-a-cop pulled me aside one day at the airport, and he's like, well, I got to check your coffee. So I was like, unscrew the lid. And I'm like, looking at my pass. And then I looked at his, and I'm like, you realize my clearance is higher than yours, right? It's like, everybody's got to follow rules, sir, like this. And I'm like, you realize I'm going to an office, and I have oil and oxygen, and I'm underneath the terminal building? And he's like, I don't understand what that means. I'm like, never mind. Just pour my fucking coffee through your little filter. Because I don't want to explain to him, that's a bomb, you fucking moron. All I have to do is pour the oil on the oxygen bottle and open the valve, and you're all going to fucking die. And
you heard it here first from that guy.
It's a basic chemical reaction, but I mean, it's like, fuck your stupid kid. Like, I know you're excited because you got $10 an hour, but fuck right off. I have national security clearance, and you have an X pass. You think that's awesome? Like, fuck you.
Where are you from, TPR?
Oh, I'm in Canada.
You're in Canada. Okay. I was going to ask you a question because I was like, I'm pretty sure you're Canadian. So I was like, because that reminds me of the time when I was rotating internationally in Angola, though, and the going into that country is a fucking nightmare. It's a shit show. It's all about paying money for visas for no reason to enrich a government as corrupt as they fucking are. Mm-hmm. And I was getting drunk with this a U.S. ambassador in the German airport. This dude just looked like nothing. He was like, can't believe they didn't give me first class, only business class this time. I'm like, I'm sorry. And he was fucking cool. Gave him my business card, never heard back from him. But then we get off the plane, I'm standing in line, and yeah, sure enough, he goes right over to the delegate line and walks in. I'm like, well, motherfucker. I was like, motherfucker. I was like, damn, I should have worked harder for that. Even as security, to be security or something for his ass. But yeah, he was cool. But so what do you think? And we don't want to, or since we're talking, it's a little bit, everything a little bit in the sense of security and stuff is always, political. What do you think about the Canadian Parliament standing up and cheering a Nazi the other day?
I
had to bring it up. The Vicks aren't here to defend
nothing fucking surprises me out of our retired for a prime minister.
that was I was like, oh my god, you literally did a standing ovation for a literal Nazi just because he was in the Ukraine army against the Russians, but they didn't look at his backstory.
Yeah, and Zelensky's, he's Jewish. It's like, yeah, well, let's put a Nazi there for him. Like, holy fuck, could you be any more tone deaf? But I mean, it's Justin Trudeau. Yes, he can. Someone
Oh,
pulled his drink box water bottle kind of thing.
I love the next day. I know the speaker resigned from Parliament because he invited him apparently. And he's like, I didn't check, whatever. It's my fault. And it's like, okay, but then the whatever the Conservative Party in Canada was like, can the Prime Minister stop calling everyone else Nazis when he literally cheered a Nazi and just admit that he was wrong? And the Liberal Party was like, look, they took the blame. It's over with. It's like, but yet everyone's been calling everyone else Nazis, for multiple years now. It's like,
Well, like, okay, here's a basic, and
it was just so funny. The stupidity, it was just so funny. I was like, Jesus.
No, I like. Here's like, okay, a convicted terrorist who used a grenade on Canadian soldiers and then was in prison in Guantanamo Bay, was then released to the Canadian authorities. And our Prime Minister apologized to him for the suffering he endured and gave him $10.5 million. A convicted terrorist murderer.
That was like 2012.
Oh, it wasn't even that long ago. It was more like 2018 or something.
Oh, okay. I was like, I remember something vaguely. I was like, it seems like so long ago these days, though.
Yeah, and he's been up on criminal charges quite a few times, and they just absolve him. They're just like, oh, there's nothing to see there, and the charges vanish.
Well, that's like this guy. I mean, they applauded him, and he's literally a Nazi. And it's like, so how long has he been living in Canada? Now Poland wants to extradite him for war crimes. I'm like, I mean, I feel bad for him to a degree because the fact that he can't even stand, basically, at this point. But I'm like, at least put that shit on record, for war crimes. But I mean, like, Canada's been like housing him for decades. It's like,
yeah, and there's a very well-known serial murderer and rapist that they just put into cottage care, which is a special version of our prisons where there's no fences. You're allowed conjugal visits. All of your
premium care.
Well, it's a country club prison, and like you volunteer to go to your sessions. You don't have to. So he put the worst Canadian on record today, who murdered his wife's daughter with her help and a couple other girls, and then raped about 20 more. And they took him out of his life sentence and said, well, that's not fair because he might have changed. And now he's in cottage care. That's our Prime Minister's version of, justice. But if you misgender a child, it's 12 to 15 years and a $30,000 fine. But if you rape and murder little girls, that's okay. We'll just put you in a cottage and get you like sex workers.
Yeah, don't get me on the misgender. That fucking shit. That will get me blocked on YouTube if I start going into that shit. I will get kicked off YouTube. I mean, it's the same in the U.S. The U.S. is fucking absolutely stupid in the way, not as a whole, but in the way that certain things are carried out. Like there was just for instance, recently there was a riot for a police shooting. So they did a peaceful protest. And some people say it's kind of questionable. A judge said that the cop was in his right, but it could be questionable. So I'm like, well, you know what? If a cop does something wrong, he deserves to get punishment just like anyone else would. That's fine. But there was people that after the riot, the little protest, went and rioted and destroyed businesses, like 20 liquor stores and probably like 30 businesses total across like Philadelphia. This one woman was live streaming the whole thing going, here we go, we need to eat, as alluding a liquor store. We need to eat, alluding a liquor store. Like, yeah, I bet you need to eat. And she's not some thin girl. She don't need to eat. And she was somehow at every location. So they arrested her, charged her with 6 felonies, for causing riots and whatever. The bail was $25,000, so that's a high level bail. She was out within multiple hours, and she had like fake tears. That was getting her mug shot, and it was like, I was so traumatized. Immediately afterwards, live stream. I'm like, she'll do 30 hours of community service, and all those charges will get dropped. And I'm like, that's stupid. That's someone who doesn't contribute shit. Give them 6 months in prison and like a $50,000 fine for damages or something like that. That will make a difference. If you just let people out, half of them won't even show up to their fucking court date again. You know, like most of them will be like, whatever.
Yeah, well, like our current situation, a median household income for a homeowner is $400,000.
Jeez.
And our government's idea of a good idea was today to double the price of electricity while our broccoli per head is $11. So if I want a head of broccoli from the store, it's about $11.
Jesus.
So their brilliant plan is, well, let's add some more tax on top of our carbon tax. So we're paying $8.50, $9 a gallon for fuel, $11 a head for broccoli, and they're like, well, you know what? We could just double your electricity bill because that'll help the country. And, you know, an average household income is $400,000. I'm like, what fucking household is that?
So I was like, jeez. I mean, yeah.
Where do these families exist? I'm sorry, because I don't.
That's the upper levels.
And they're like, oh no, that's median. I'm like, yeah, no, it ain't.
No, I'm sorry. Even in the U.S., like in the U.S., yeah, it's. I mean, every state's different. Here, it's like, I'll just say, statewide in Texas, it's $3.35 a gallon, $3.40, depending on where you are. Electric is not terrible because they still have, you know, of course we have a lot of oil here, but of course Canada in certain areas does too. But with the restrictions, that's why we're seeing the increase. But the median, say couple together, median couple in Texas is probably, I'm gonna wager just somewhere around like 90,000 a year.
Yeah, that'd be about
Median
right.
couple about 90,000, maybe. You could say by plus or minus 5 to 10, depending on where you are or whatever. You know, I mean, that's, I don't have those types of statistics or numbers are from me, but 400,000. That's a rich goddamn couple. What the fuck are they talking about? Median couple.
I know. My neighbors across the street bought their house for $450. And
Jesus.
I haven't gone back to the office since the start of the pandemic. And I'm like, how in the hell do they afford that house? Because you got to have 20% down. So that's 87,500. If I just did my math right.
You said 400 or 450 and then 20%?
450,000 and you need 20% down.
I mean,
Is that
the point is
96?
that's at least like $40,000-$50,000 at least. The point is down.
Yeah,
it's a good chunk. It's a good goddamn chunk.
Yeah, no, I'd be 90,000. Yeah, I guess I did 18 or 19, or I divided it in half. The difference, but whatever. It's and I'm like, okay, so they had like 90 grand in cash, and then you can only borrow 3 times what you make.
Yeah.
And then they both went from working in the office to staying at home with 3 boys. And I'm like, this is why they sold their trailer and why they haven't bought a new car in 5 years. Because they're land poor, right? They're locked into their house. They can't do anything because they can't afford shit.
Yeah, most likely. Because even the U.S., I mean, it's the same there, I'm sure. Most financial advisors will say, if you, as an individual or couple, say make $100,000 a year, just say $100,000, don't buy a house more than. Well, they say here, at least the last time I really looked, about 2.5 times. So if you make $100,000 a year, don't buy a house more than $250,000, because otherwise you're going to really lock yourself in and be fucked.
Yeah.
Like financially. Now you can stretch a little bit depending on what you're getting, but stay within that 2.5 time range. Here, that's what they suggest, so you don't like screw yourself. Plus, if you want to try to do it in 15 years instead of 30 years, like your mortgage or whatever. So
Our government solution has been to introduce 90-year mortgages. In other words, your mortgage lasts longer than your life. And it's like,
sorry, that
Yeah.
that literally almost fucking killed me. I'm like, 90 years? Good
Yep.
lord.
yeah. I'm like, thank God my house is paid for, because I'm like, oh, wow.
I mean, where does that even make sense? 90 years. No one buys
know.
a house until they're probably at least early 20s at minimum, if not at least 30. And a lot later when they really
yeah.
like 30, 34, 35. Where does a 90-year 30 years scares people, because they're like, I don't want to be 65 paying on my house still, so they try to cut it to 15 to 20, which is still a long time, but it's a property. You're going to live there fine.
Mhm.
But 90.
Yeah, this is giving your children debt.
Well, that was my next question. I was like, what do they do with the leftover? Is it passed on to the family, or is it taken out of estate? Or
You know what? Depends how you word your will. Because, like, my house got left to me. If it had a mortgage on it at the time, that means I get the home plus any debt that's owed on it, and then I have to then go take a mortgage on it. So even if my dad had gotten a mortgage and it was super low interest at the time that he bought the house, I then have to refinance it at today's rates. And it's like, yeah, good luck with that.
oh, so you don't even get a locked rate if you wanted to keep paying on it. You have to redo it to a new rate. Oh, that's even double. That's even a double screw.
Oh, yeah. They'll screw you any which way they can.
I would
If you don't have a hole to screw, they'll put one in you.
I would just. I mean, at that point, most people will just sell it, of course, and then they'll lose most of the money left.
Live in a tent in Vancouver or something. Fuck it.
I guess gotta love the. It's not just the economy. That's why it's like, no, it's regulation and all that shit. There's so much that goes into it. It's annoying. I am happy I have VA where I don't have to have a down for a house, but that means I have to pay more per month, of course. But I don't have to have a huge down to move into a house because it's a zero down loan. But at the same time, you have to wager, okay, I'd rather put $10,000-$20,000 down up front and save myself a couple of years of payments and interest and cost and stuff. But
well, that'd be what, 10 months of payments.
Yeah, at least, like I said, like at least a year, depending on the price of the property, whatever, and or the term, the rate of the length of term of your mortgage and stuff. So I mean, I'd say anywhere from 10 to like 13 months probably of payments. So I'd
They
rather
break
save
theirs
myself.
down here like into 2 steps. So I get a 90-year mortgage with a 5-year annuity. In other words, every 5 years I have to refinance that same mortgage. That way, the government and the banks get to keep making interest on the interest.
Oh, you don't even get you don't even get a lock rate for that initial.
No, not a chance now.
Oh fuck! Yeah, no, I see. I would never accept. Me here, I would never accept that. Like here, at least, if you get a mortgage, most places guarantee a lock. Like this is what you are. That's what it's going to be. Now, if you want to refinance it later and see if you can adjust, good or bad, you can, but it'll be at least locked in for your term the whole time, and that's the only way. That's the one good thing. Americans don't fuck around with that shit. We're like, no, you're not gonna screw us. Most Americans are the same. We're like, that's not happening.
Yeah, no, they get us every which way they can here.
Yeah, I've spent plenty of time in Alberta. Trust me, over the years, and I've told the Vics, and Bonneville, north of Edmond, north a little bit northeast of Edmonton in Bonneville, a couple hours out there. And most of them are like, yeah, this is shit. Even years ago, they were like, what the hell are we doing up here? All the Canadians, like, this is crap.
Well, great dental care, but you have to pay for it. Highest rates in the world, and free health care, but it comes out of your salary.
Oh yes, please. Let's dive into that, because that's always a fascinating topic. Is in the U.S. especially, everyone's like, hey, universal health care, we want this, it's gonna be amazing. And it's like this, where do you think that, where do you but it is amazing, but when they say that, what the people here don't realize is, well, how do you think that's going to get paid for? Higher taxes, which means you're going to pay more per month in your taxes. So if you're making this, but you think you should be making this, but you want universal health care, well, you're now making this, but now it's actually, it's down here, because now you're paying for universal health care. Now at different tax levels, but you are also paying more money.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to wait in line to a degree, because now everyone's on the same level. So there's more appointments, because people are like, well, I have free healthcare, I have free dental, I have free whatever, I can do this. And now you're waiting in line. And a lot of doctors and dentists are not going to like that, because they're going to start losing money. So a lot of people don't realize how this works in the US when they look at free medical, free dental, free healthcare, all that, shit together. They don't realize what that involves. They just see a utopia and go, that sounds awesome. It's like, it has goods and bads, just like our system does. It's like,
yeah, and it's based on like a healthy population, right? So my free MRI, I actually got a bill for it. My free MRI was $5,500.
Eesh.
Because they had screwed up my health care, because they decided I was married. And I'm like, I'm not, though. Like, no, we have it down here that you're married. And I'm like, no, that was 20 years ago. I'm divorced. I haven't seen the girl for those 20 years. We're friends, but we're not married. She actually lives on the other side of the planet. And they're like, well, can you get her to come in and sign an affidavit? I'm like, what part of she fucking lives in Australia does not clue in? She's not coming over here to sign a piece of paper.
I'll be on the flight tomorrow to come help you.
Yeah. Like, fuck. Well, at least if she did, I could get laid. But I mean, shit.
Well, I mean, that's an
$5,000.
That's an expensive lay, yeah.
It's an expensive date. And then I have to take her to dinner. Holy shit, if she orders broccoli, I'm fucked.
It's shocking. Here it's like, please don't order the lobster. In Canada, it's, please don't order broccoli. The side choices, ignore those. Those don't exist.
Yeah. I'll have the potatoes, and I'll have the scraps from the deep fryer. Thanks.
Do you have rice? How much is that? Never mind. You know what? Yeah.
Just take a kidney. There you go.
Well, that's the dumbest thing. When people talk about, like, especially the U.S., there's this whole movement. I'm sure it's the same as Canada too, even more so. Even though you guys are a lot closer because of the universal stuff. In the U.S., is the socialism movement, and people don't understand what socialism really is. They're like, we deserve this. We deserve this. It's like, well, everyone pays for that to you to get that shit, including yourself. You don't understand that. Yeah. They just think that means the government gives them everything. It's like, that's not how that works.
No.
That's not how that works.
When we used to have to pay for it, it was in Alberta at the time, 30 years ago, it was $80 a person per month. So for me, it was $160, which doesn't sound too bad, but I mean, we still have all of our taxes and everything else. And, it was brutal. And then when I got divorced, I'm like, well, I phoned Alberta Health Services and I said, like, hey, I'm divorced. And they're like, oh, well, can you provide some proof of that? And I'm like, sure. So I sent them over a court document. And then I started getting bills and bills and bills. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to pay for it because I don't have a wife. And I told you I don't have a wife. And then they phoned me as collections. And they're like, well, you haven't paid these, so we're deleting your health care. And I'm like, why? I've been paying my $80 a month. And they're like, well, no, you're supposed to be paying 160 and you're, I don't remember at the time, like $4,000 or $5,000 in arrears. And I'm like, but I don't have a wife. We don't have a record of that. And I'm like, but I sent you the paperwork. Well, who did you speak to? I don't know. Some fucking rep on the phone. It's up to you guys to keep notes. And like, well, there's no notes here. So we'll see you in court. Click. And I'm like, wait, what? And I went through about 5 of those phone calls, and every time they didn't keep records of the calls. And I'm like, what in the fuck is wrong with you people?
Why am I not surprised about this in any government or legitimate quote unquote agency?
Oh,
Why am I not surprised though? They wouldn't have the recording, they'd lose it. I'm not surprised by that, period. Like on any level.
I actually had to go to court and get it discharged before I could have my health care again. That's when I had my MRI. And they charged me $5,500. And I'm like, I'm not fucking paying for this. I'm a Canadian. I was born here. It's not how this shit works. And I actually had to go to court over this. And I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like, I don't have a wife. I haven't had her for, I don't know, at the time, 10 or 12 years. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, and you said it's about $80 a person, at least back then. And I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound bad. But over time, that adds up a lot. But then you also think, okay, so then how many people are not also contributing and cheating the system and getting out of it? And then it's going to cost the government more money. And eventually, a couple of years later, they're going to go, well, you know what? That $80 is $120 now per person because we got to make up money because we're going broke. And that's the problem with the system, is that there are so many easy ways for people who don't want to contribute to cheat the system, and they do it very, very well. I mean, like, I was in the military. We didn't get paid shit in the military. Didn't get paid shit. I would go and see friends who lived in friends of mine, not military friends, but just civilian friends who lived in Section 8 housing. So that's government housing, like low income government housing. And I would see a married couple, both military, in government housing, which I'm kind of like, well, okay, lower rank, okay. But they shouldn't be living in government housing at that point. But they'd be driving a brand new Lexus out of government housing. Like a brand new fucking Lexus off the lot. I'm like, oh, I see where that money's going. Anyone who wants to cheat the system will cheat the fucking system.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care. So if people say, no, people are all good and they don't, no, that doesn't happen. It happens. The people who say that just have never seen it or experienced it, or just delusional. One or the other. I mean,
yeah, I didn't even think that fake news was a thing until the pandemic. And then when our glorious leader, Kim Il-Trudeau, got called out by the rest of the leaders at the G12, or whatever number and letter combination it is this year.
12, 20.
But he got called out for being a dictator and being an enemy to democracy because of the way he treats Canadians.
Mm-hmm.
Because he seized their bank accounts because they would dare speak out against being locked in their homes for years on end. And Canadian news would not report it. It never happened. The only way you could find out about it is if you had a VPN, because all the Canadian internet providers blocked that story from any news agency. And I'm like, that's exactly like the Great Wall of China, like the Great Firewall of China. It's exactly like North Korea. It's exactly like Russia. And now we have a new law that came in called the Online Streaming Act, where I have to produce my videos in English and French in order for them to be shown to other Canadians.
Yeah, I think you and the Vix were talking about that a few weeks ago. And I was like, that's censorship at its finest. I mean, that's all it is. Censorship. It's saying you can't see the news that we don't want you to see.
Yeah. And for us, like we call it the Great Internet Firewall of Canada, named after the Chinese, because it's the same thing. It's like you're not allowed to see this, and none of your content is allowed out into the world unless you speak English and French, which only Ontario, at the very eastern end of Ontario, speaks French, and 6 native languages, which the natives don't speak. They don't remember how to speak the languages that we're forced to put our videos into. And it's like YouTube and Babbel and Bing do not have a translator for these languages because they don't exist. They're dead languages. But the government's like, you have to speak these languages. And it's like, who the fuck's going to teach me? Even if I wanted to learn.
There's literally like maybe 5 people total that speak those languages left somewhere or whatever. And you're like, yeah, okay, that's going to happen. See, for me, I was like, yeah, Ottawa, maybe some people like towards Newfoundland might fully French, but other than that, everywhere else is just English that I'm aware of in Canada. So I'm like, that's dumb. That's why I'm so happy to hear the push from a few people here in the U.S. to say English is the national language. Finally, we're going to settle this. English is the national language. I'm like, why is this so controversial to say English is the national language? Everyone says it's controversial. I'm like, it's not. It's settle on a language because I mean it's not controversial.
Yeah, no, like for me, I mean, I can write the French well enough. I can speak a little bit of it, but thankfully I don't have to speak it in my videos. I can get away with subtitles. And I'm like, okay, well, I can retype everything in fucking French if I have to. But then I looked and I put it up on my Discord, and out of 10,000 views this month, I had 30 that used French subtitles. So I'm like, 30 people out of 10,000. This is your big push. This is helping so many Canadians. I'm like, what fucking Canadians? Like the 30 of them?
Well, that's the one good thing about YouTube too, is that even if you just do like if I do all of this is in English, someone can look back later, like tomorrow, after like 10, 12 hours, it'll get translated and you can just go subtitle French. It's not going to be perfect, but YouTube will do it for you. That is kind of the nice thing, but Canada is it sounds like they're putting their own, like you have to do this up front stipulations. Shit.
Yeah, and mine has to be Canadian French, not French, because they're 2 different languages. And I go the extra mile and I actually correct, like if I do some auto translating, I'll go back and correct all the grammar because YouTube fucks it up royally. Like it's a disaster when they type it out. So it's like, yeah, I'm better off writing it myself.
Oh, but that's fair. I mean, it's like people who use Google Translate and hope that it's perfectly accurate, and I'm like, yeah, it's not. It's not going to be. It's going to be a shit show at some points, especially depending on what language you're using or trying to translate to. It's going to be a shit show.
Well, yeah, there was a website a while ago called English, and it was all like signs in other countries that have been translated to English really badly. Like one is like, please not to hustle on a pool hall. And you're like, what the fuck does that mean? Please not to hustle? What? Don't run with stabbing? What? The fuck?
Some of them are fucking hysterical, but yeah.
Oh yeah,
they're
bad. But
if you're trying to avoid legal issues, not the greatest time for those to come across.
Yeah, I mean, try and find like Google or YouTube Translate to Blackfeet or to Picani or to blood. It doesn't exist because the languages are not spoken anymore. But according to the Canadian government, I had to speak 6 of these Aboriginal languages that no one uses. And I'm like, for who? For whom am I actually putting in this effort? Because nobody speaks the language. Like I might as well have it in Aramaic for the 3 people on Earth that can still read it. Like,
well,
give me a break.
Also, when someone does something like that, I would legally, if it was ever pushed in the sense of like you were getting charged with something, I would legally push and go, so all of you here can speak those languages, right? No? Fuck you. You know? Fuck you. I mean, it's like, don't give me this. Don't give me the nonsense. Like, do they post their news in all these languages? If you have to do something online in all these languages or whatever, do they do the news in all the languages? I mean,
The news is exempt because they're crown corporations, which means that the government owns the company.
Of course. I will. And I don't talk Twitter or Elon Musk at all. I don't care. But I loved when Elon tagged the CBC as government agency, and Canada lost their mind.
Yeah.
Over it. And he's
They
like,
are.
well, it is. He's like, it
Yeah.
is. It's funded by the government.
They're totally funded by our government. I'm like,
It was like, it was just so great. It was like, just trolling them. Oh, look at these losers
now they
Acting
show up.
acting like they have nothing better to do or something. Like they were doing. No, there's no bingo. There's no bingo. I waited last night. You guys didn't do bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shut up, Rob. I don't
It is rigged. I'll give you that.
It is rigged. Every game they do is rigged.
See, I spent all day watching the U.S. Open for pool, and then tonight I was modding on the league channel for Texas for San Antonio Pool League. So I didn't have time to check if the Vic suddenly randomly did a bingo.
They didn't last night. I was waiting. Tonight I waited for a while, and that's why I decided to go. Okay, I'll do something live because no one was live tonight. I was like, okay.
Yep.
You guys are supposed to make this a trending topic. We already had this conversation like an hour ago. Hashtag.
Yeah, where the hell were
Sam.
you people when we had the Where is Sam discussion?
And they misspelt it anyways. It's where is Sam?
Where is Sam?
Where is Sam?
They did a contraction.
Not even a good one.
Kind of English is that?
Canadian.
Please not to hustle.
Canadian. It's that Vancouver. Vancouver Island fucking. All right. TPR. Well, one, Bix, if you want, there's a link. Jump in even for a little bit. I really need to I need to go use the little boys' room for a moment. And I'm out
Wash
of the
your
drink.
hands.
I'll be wash my hands. I'm sanitary. But yeah, jump in and the link's at the top of the chat, and I will be back here in a moment. And I think I already got demonetized for this video anyways because of the little Ron Jeremy thing I put earlier. So I'm just gonna play something else, and it'll probably, this one might not demonetize me like the Ron Jeremy does, but I'm gonna play this for a second. I'll be back literally in about maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So enjoy, everyone. Jump in, Vic.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Sanitation first. Sanitation first. if you want the rest of that music video, you have to go to Seven Dust and watch their video, as we got to meet them last month,
Seven Dust.
and we're going to see them next week again. Great guys. They've been around for a goddamn long time. You can see all the gray. They've been around for a long goddamn time.
To be honest, I've never heard of them. So
No, they've been around for, oh god, at least 97. And still, that was their brand new one of the singles from the album like a few months ago. So yeah, they're still out there. Where are the Vicks? Canadian English, eh? Yes. Canadian English, eh? Yeah. Yeah. I'm a little out of practice with you in A. I got good at it when I was hanging out with the Canadians, going up there a lot. I got kind of good at using it, but
it was only midnight for them. They should be awake till like 3 in their time.
I was about to say, I was like, yeah, it's like just after, it's like 12:10 there because 2:10 here, Central Time. We're in the Saskatchewan time range.
I'm in the middle. I'm the meat in the sandwich. Yay!
Well, because British Columbia is Pacific, then Alberta is like an hour behind, an hour ahead of the
Your mic went funny.
Well, yeah, I have a new position now, so now I have to remember. Hey, it's up here now. So BC, British Columbia, it's Pacific time. Alberta is it mountain or is it also Pacific?
Nope, mountain.
It's mountain. Okay, and then after that, it's all central until Ontario.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
once you leave Manitoba, it becomes Eastern time.
okay. I thought I had that right in my mind, but I was like guessing also.
The real dividing line is more like around North Bay, but we like to stick to the imaginary lines on the map.
Shit, imaginary lines on the map. Fuck. The first time I ever drove into the South from Texas, I drove into Florida, and I was like, "Am I not in the East Coast yet? Like Eastern time?" I drove 3 hours into Florida before I hit East Coast time. I'm like, this doesn't even make any sense.
Oh yeah, Ontario is probably 3 states wide. It's massive.
Well, yeah, and I mean Florida, I understand is like they have their southern part of the kind of the panhandle there, but then I entered Georgia again, then I entered Florida, and it's like now entering the East Coast time. I'm like, how the fuck did it take me this far? I thought the East Coast would have been like a lot broader time zone than it really is.
Yep, the whole coast is like diagonal. It's not straight up and down.
Well, I mean, it's fair enough too. It's like Pacific. If like from where I'm at, we're originally from in Oregon. If you go west, if you go east in Oregon, about 30-40 minutes before you hit Idaho, so you haven't even left just one of the 3 southern states or 3 western states: Washington, Oregon, California. 30 minutes before you leave Oregon, it's like entering mountain time. You're like, wait, the Pacific time is only like a 3.5 hour stretch of the state, like
Yeah,
at the same time, it's like it makes no sense. It's almost like why even bother having it?
well, it's like Ontario's because like if you're at the very extreme western end of Ontario, the sun does set at a different time because the province is so big.
You've heard maybe you've heard I need to double check the story. I think about a year ago, I heard that they were going to move to try to get rid of daylight savings
I heard none of those words.
from the U.S., which I assume Canada would follow suit.
Say that all again, closer to you, Mike.
Um, maybe, yeah, maybe I bumped something. About a year ago, I read a story about the U.S. going to get rid. They're going to push to get rid of daylight savings times completely,
Hmm.
which I assume Canada would follow suit because that would be just
Yeah.
shit if the U.S. got rid of it in Canada. So, now I haven't heard anything. I see you going. Where's Rob?
Wait, there was a pretty girl. Bring her back.
Hashtag where's Rob? Hashtag where's
Well,
Rob? Is he still in jail for? Oh, damn it! You got him out of jail for harassing all those poor transgender children.
you kidding me?
I was like, don't let. I was
No,
like,
I
that'd
was
be
just
so
coming on.
amazing if Rob got arrested.
I was just coming on to test my new camera that I got on my computer. It's weird.
Oh, looks good.
Yeah, it's silver on my computer. I've been crafting, working on baby head back there.
Crafting.
Yeah, that's creepy.
They're not dead bodies. Honest.
Yeah, yeah. How you guys doing?
Good. How about you guys?
Good. I only heard that you were deleting it, so I came up in my pajamas. Thank you, Ron, Jeremy.
I'm in my jammies.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, fuck, where's Jammies?
It's 10 degrees here, man.
Hey,
I know. I'm saying
Machinist.
I've been to Alberta multiple times in the north, and I lived in North Dakota, so I know. I know what
It's
it
like
is like.
daytime it's 30 and nighttime it's 10 because the air's so thin because we're so high.
I bet you are high.
Yeah. No, actually, I don't do any weed, even though it's completely legal. I just don't care.
I don't.
Yeah, it's not my thing.
No, me neither.
Are we really done with Canadian politics, though?
I am.
Keep your eyes
I'm
out
gonna
this
go to-
weekend. Keep your eyes
I'm
out
gonna
this weekend. I don't
I'll
know
go
what's
to
going
prison.
on, but something's going on in Canada this weekend.
Maybe. According to CP News, there was a massive counter protest to the hate protests that went on last weekend. I'm like, what hate protests? When did that happen? Do you guys just making up shit as you go? Is that what you're doing? I think so.
Yeah, they closed down a couple days ago. They closed down Toronto, thinking that a convoy was coming through. They shut down a bunch of streets and stuff, and turned out it was nothing. So
Anytime
Hey,
anyone
Machinist.
anytime anyone says anything negative about a protest, and they call it counter protest, whatever, it's just labeled as massive or hateful or some stupid crap like that. Even though it's nothing, it's literally just someone criticizing it, and they're like, ah.
Yeah, for us, like I said, it's all of our news is sponsored by our government. So, according to the government, it was hate speech, and we're all hateful, and nobody remembers there being any big counter protests.
Well, that's why I told you it was so funny to hear over all the years of you guys being called Nazis by Trudeau, and then he literally stands and applauds the Nazi. It's just your head explodes thinking about it. Going,
I know, yeah. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. It's like it's writing itself.
that's the thing. It's like you can't.
Yeah.
You couldn't write a story about it because people would call it fiction.
Yeah. You could definitely do a comedic act on all of this, and people you don't even have to write the story. It's done for you.
Well, that's why I was telling TPR. I was like, yeah. Then like the next day, the speaker resigned or whatever, and I was like, okay, that's good. Okay, he's like, hey, it's my fault. Whatever. Okay. And then they said multiple times like they didn't vet the person, but in his speech he said we vetted the person. And I'm like, so did you or didn't you vet the person? Did you or didn't you? It made no sense.
Because you just asked that question, Trudeau is going to freeze your bank account next.
That he's talking to you. He has no control over mine.
He can freeze mine. There's nothing in it.
He has no control over mine.
Ah, shit! I can't get my Tim Hortons coffee tomorrow.
Whoa. What happened? So it looked like my camera got unplugged. I haven't touched anything.
Yeah, you're gone. You just left me here to run the stream. That's all right. I got all kinds of things to say.
What happened? I didn't touch anything. Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
StreamYard is just doing whatever. I guess Trudeau has heard. The Canadian government has heard me talking shit, and now they're just fucking with my stuff.
I warned you. Did I not warn you?
I did warn you.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't touch anything. So I was like, what do you mean?
Crazy. Who else is here? I can't tell. I don't have I only have one screen on my computer, so I just see StreamYard.
It's mostly us.
It's just us.
It's mostly us. Well, no one else. That's what I said. No one else was live tonight, so I was like, well, I'll pop on and do something live.
I don't get up on panels on my own, so that's a compliment to you, Ben.
Oh, Wendy is live. Wendy is live, but they weren't live earlier or had anything scheduled, and I went live before her. Now she's stealing all my people. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go in and spam her chat. Be like, how dare you?
I'm gonna go over there. Yeah, I guess bye. No.
Yeah, she's only been live for 49 minutes. How dare Wendy?
How long have you been live? You haven't been live long.
I've been live for 2 hours. Right?
Yeah, Machina's Mark's great.
Almost 2 hours.
I was listening to him, I believe yesterday. Maybe it was today. I didn't talk, but
yesterday.
Was it yesterday? Yeah, he's really good.
I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but
yeah, I think it was yesterday because I was listening while I was in the kitchen doing stuff. I mean, if I can find somebody doing music, that's fantastic.
yeah, like I said, I've been in the U.S. Open streams every day, so I kind of lose track of what day it is.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't even go live this week, as Ben knows. We'll be live tomorrow, though. We're gonna do our trivia night tomorrow, and then we're gonna decide. We've got some things planned. We talked to Ben about it before. We'd like to do not really a promotion night, but a night where we actually explore each channel and watch some of their stuff, and we have just them up on panel, and we talk about their stuff and whatever.
Yeah, they talk a lot, but they don't do anything.
He just called you a bitch.
Now Rob's gonna steal your bank account.
Yeah, my camera unplugged again. Apparently,
see, that's karma. That's
why does it keep doing that?
No, yeah, you're dealing with me.
I'm literally not. I'm literally not touching shit. It's like
I do stuff.
Yeah, it's not creepy at all.
Yeah, Jesus fuck. Good Lord, that's scary.
She still needs some more hair, though.
I think you left her in the car seat a little too long there.
With the windows rolled up, and
you might want to take her out once in a while, hug her or something.
When I delivered the last doll to the lady, she wrote me, and I said, "You know what? We're totally going to get pulled over because I'm carrying this doll, and it's not in the car seat."
Do not allow someone to see that from the window because you will get pulled over for child abuse.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. You should see what Rob's been doing with this last doll, though. Every time I walk into a room, that doll's hanging over something, staring at me, and I'm like, "This is not funny. You need to leave the baby alone."
Oh, I was like, I don't want to hear what Rob's been doing with that doll at all.
So no, that's creepy looking. Yeah, well, it's just her head.
That scared the hell out of me. I just
That's
looked at the
why it's
screen all of a
creepy,
sudden.
because you're just holding up a tiny child's head, and it's like, okay, stop.
You should see what I
What are you
put in the oven.
Oh,
It's okay. I can turn the camera off for a minute here. Hang on a minute.
they're better when they're all finished.
Jesus.
I got
Yeah.
this.
Like, oh God.
All right,
Good night,
have a good night,
machinist.
machinist.
Yeah, once they're all put together, it's fine. It's fine. I know it's a little creepy.
Well, that's the same.
It's when it's just a body part. It's a little bit like, ooh, hey, whoa.
Yeah, I
Like
think
I said, it's like they're all heat set. Like the paint has to be heat set. So I have an outdoor oven, and it's got a glass window. So when all the parts are in the oven, I'm really worried the neighbors are going to call the police on me because I'm going out there with a tray of parts, right?
you putting things, the doll parts in there. I could just see you shutting the door, going, "Get in the oven!
Get in there.
Get in the oven!"
Yeah.
Should have done your chores, bitch.
Machinist, I'm looking forward to it. I hope we can see some of that. That'd be awesome. Cool.
Yeah, your neighbors must just love watching you put pieces of babies into your oven outside. It's like, what?
The
Don't
first
piss
time,
me off.
the first time, like, what the fuck is this bitch doing? Call the police. Call the police.
I'm surprised they haven't called the police. My neighbors are pretty understanding. We don't tell them, they don't tell us. It's fine.
I mean, I would mind my own business, but I would mind my own business, but if I saw my neighbor sticking body parts into a little oven, I'd probably be like, I have questions. Then again, maybe not too, because I'd be like, I might be next.
My neighbor literally has a grass ruler. So he comes around every weekend and he measures my grass to make sure it's within city height restrictions. And I'm like, you have no fucking life. You know that, right? Like,
Hey, you know what? Machinist, I might do that. Make a Chucky doll. That'll be the end of it for me, though. I'll never make another one. No.
Yeah, I don't want to deal. See, when we were talking about housing and the price and stuff, one thing like in Canada, you guys have like HOA, the homeowners association people. I don't think you call
places.
Yeah, I don't think you call it HOA maybe, but
we do
have it here, and yeah, it can vary between like tiny, like $10 a month to like $20 a month to like hundreds of dollars a month. And I'm like, if I have anything over like $20 a month for HOA, I'm like, I don't want to move there because you're going to have that prick that's going to be like, your grass is that much longer than it should be. And I'm like, fuck off.
But here's the thing, an HOA is legally binding. So as soon as you see that that's part of your property arrangement, nope, walk away.
No. Exactly. I mean, exactly. It's like, I just don't want to, I don't want to deal with, because some HOAs, the higher they get, especially, you have to keep up with it to that standard. The cheap ones are kind of more for street cleaning and stuff like that. A little bit, like just keep the neighborhood tidy. But I don't want to deal with that prick that comes around and measuring my grass.
Yeah.
Right.
My other neighbor, like the one I'm talking about with the grass ruler, he's like kitty corner to me. The one behind me, like kitty corner to me, came out one day and at the top of her voice is like, oh, well, at least some of the people in this neighborhood have like nice cars like me, because she just bought a Mercedes C-Series. And I'm like, honey, my car costs more than yours. It's better looking and it goes faster. Oh, and by the way, my house is paid for, so why don't you shut the fuck up?
See, that's my thing. I'm like, I want to be in a neighborhood where I don't even know my neighbors.
Oh,
like, we don't talk to each other, period. Like, just leave me the fuck alone. I leave you the fuck alone. And
When we
But
first
to have that attitude,
moved to this neighborhood, everybody in the neighborhood wanted to be our friend, which was really cool, right? But they had block parties. They have you don't get any peace around here. If they see your lights on, they're knocking on the door. Come have drinks. Come. They're all great people. They're a lot of fun. But there's like you find you crawling around on the floor trying to hope that they don't notice that you're up and awake because they're going to be over here going, come on over.
They've given up on us.
They actually have given up on us. So I do have to change this view streaming here because, that's why I keep walking it out because people tend to go, Mom, Mom, Mom. Need something back there. I think you were right about that curtain in there.
I know I'm right.
Letting them know, don't come
Shut up, Rob.
Shut Rob.
Shut up, Ben.
Shut Ben.
You see, the thing I don't like about my neighbor saying that is she's just ignorant of the rest of the people that live here. I'm like, you realize like there's 2 Lamborghinis, there's a Ferrari, a GTR, there's an Audi, was it R5, the little Audi supercar, not the TT. It's like it's an actual supercar. I'm like, I think your little Mercedes C series is fucking hot shit. And I'm like, honey, you got no fucking clue. Like, you should actually look around before you open your yap. Just, as a thought. But I don't pick fights with my neighbors. I don't walk outside. My car is better than your car, fucker. Like, I don't give a shit. Doesn't make me a better person. Who cares?
Our neighbors are 4x4s and work trucks. Yeah, I don't think we have any fancy vehicles in our neighborhood, do we, hon? Other than our son, who would love to have like 20 cars in our driveway.
He's got a 2023 decked out GMC pickup. It's got every single bell and whistle.
It's very true. True Canadian pickup truck.
I guess if I was smart, I would include the Teslas because they're not cheap, but I don't think of them as supercars. But But yeah, no, like that's what I mean, Sam. Like, I'm sorry, I said Sam. Sam doesn't exist.
Where is Sam? Hashtag where is Sam?
Hashtag where is Sam?
Maybe I just see Sam in my mind.
Well, then again, too, when you said that, I almost had to look behind me and be like, "Oh shit! Is he like? Why aren't you asleep yet?"
Did he pry the gate open from the pit of doom?
I'm gonna name this baby Sam.
It'd be more like he'd just send the cat in. He would crack the door open and send the cat in here to be a cat. Be like, "Why the fuck aren't you asleep yet?"
No, but when you said like HOA, that was my first thought. Is just like, yeah, I would just run from that because you will end up with people like my neighbors, and it's just, no, yeah, you don't get to control my life.
Yeah, that's why I say I was like, there's such a variance of the HOA stuff. HOAs are good in some ways because it keeps the standard of the neighborhood and stuff like that. It's good, but then you have to go, okay, who do I have to deal with now because of that shit?
For the first 10 years, the city was the HOA for this neighborhood, just so they could maintain a standard. So like you couldn't build an outbuilding or have a shed or anything in your backyard. But after the 10 years expires, you can do whatever the hell you want because it's your property. So at that point, like my dad had to spend $10,000 on a fence. And if he didn't do it, they would take all of the taxes. They wanted to put in an asphalt alley behind the house, and it was free for everybody, but they were gonna like make my dad pay for his section of it because he didn't put up the fence.
Wow.
But that was like their HOA thing. But now I have a rotten fence that I have to go rebuild. Yay. But the alley's paved.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to all of it. It just it depends on the neighborhood. It's just when you buy the place, you don't know what you're gonna get into because you don't know the people next door. You're not gonna go talk to them and be like, "Hey," and even that's not a to know.
Well, yeah, and like
At
my
late
dad
night.
went into it blind because this was the model home. The reason my garage is finished is my garage was the showroom for the neighborhood. So this was that very first house in the section. So they had no idea who their neighbors were going to be because it was the very first house bought, and it was like, what's this going to be like for 10 years? But thankfully now, like, I'm friends with people on both sides of me, and that's all I need, you know.
Well, that's it. That's why I said I don't want to deal with the neighbors, but as long as we're like, hey, we're cool. You know,
yeah,
we're good. You don't bother me. I don't bother you. We don't have noise issues. Whatever. That's cool. Because like upstairs in my apartment upstairs, we're on the first floor. I've always lived on third floor, like third floor to third floor. Like then no one's above me. Well, we moved on first floor. I want to murder the kids upstairs. Non-stop. It starts 7 in the morning. Doesn't stop till like 11 p.m. at night. It sounds like they're wrestling non-stop upstairs. I don't even know how many people live upstairs. I don't even know. In a 2-bedroom upstairs above ours, there's like 6 people at least, and they have 2 little kids, and they like wrestle nonstop.
If you need any help, I know a girl who's got a baby-sized oven in her backyard.
I mean, I tell Sam, I'm like, permission to kill children. Permission to kill children.
No, not allowed.
Well, I keep telling him to go deal with it too because they don't speak English. They speak only Spanish. As far as I'm aware.
But he doesn't exist. So.
He's like, he doesn't want to deal with it. I'm like, great. Now I have to deal with
it. Maybe buy them all slippers or something and just leave them outside their doors as gifts.
No, I mean it's
on your children's feet.
I mean it's like full on wrestling. It's not just like they run around the floor once in a while. It's like wrestling, like buying, dragging furniture, shit getting knocked over all the time, running, and it's in all the rooms. It's not just focused in one area. It's like everywhere. Starting at 7 in the morning till like 11 p.m. at night, whether their parents or whatever are there or not. I'm like, oh.
That's where the broom handle comes, right? You're banging on the ceiling.
No, that's what my old neighbors used to do. That's what my old neighbors used to do. I had these cranky elder, not elderly. They were like they're probably in their mid 60s. And I was on the third floor, and we had a dog. This was before I met Sam, and me and my other partner were living together. And I would literally stumble putting on my shoe. Like you're going to put your shoe on, and you might like kind of stumble over a little bit, and they would run around, bang, 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 like all over the apartment below. And I'm like, you people are insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
To the point where I literally was just like, fuck you people. Like you people are like I get it. If there's a little bit of noise, I got it. But as long as it's not late night, anything before like say 8 p.m. or after like 9 a.m., a little noise, you're going to expect to hear a little something. But if you go insane from someone just actually literally just stumbling, putting on the shoe, to banging a broomstick across the ceiling, you people are fucking lunatics.
Yeah, I don't look forward to dealing with that. I got my son and his girlfriend downstairs, and they would never think to say anything to me, and I'd never say anything to them. As long as it's happy noises, I don't care what time they're having fun.
Our next place is going to be, if we don't rent a house, we're going to. We don't want to buy for about a year and a half, 2 years. We'll buy, but it'll be, if we don't rent a house, it'll be a townhouse, at least where it's just.
You share one wall, maybe.
Yeah, we don't have to deal with upstairs, downstairs noise. We don't have to deal with this shit.
Yeah. I lived in the townhouse for a long time. I actually really enjoyed it. I liked it.
This shit upstairs is fucking stupid. Again, murder kids. I'm hold on. I say that. Hold on. I have a banner. Or I need to edit that and put or legal personnel. We are not licensed medical professionals or legal personnel. Everything we say here is a joke. YouTube, calm your ass.
I have worked in a law office and I've dated several nurses, so I don't know if that counts for anything.
I dated and lived with a professional drug dealer before. A pharmacist. He was a legal drug dealer. He was a pharmacist. He was a legal drug dealer.
Until you clarified that, I was just like, that's not a story I would share with somebody. But
that's why I clarified it. I'm like, no, he was like,
he's working on trivia over there.
All right, it is 2:40 in the morning here. This has actually gone on longer than I thought it would. To be honest, I thought I'd go about 10 minutes and be like, I'm done, and just delete the show because I didn't think anyone was going to jump on. But it's 2:40 in the morning here.
Go ahead, admit it.
Sam, hashtag where is Sam? I'm going to Mrs. T. Will you drop your guys' Twitter in the private chat, please?
Twitter?
Drop your Twitter in the private chat.
Twitter? Do we even tweet?
X.
We do, but I don't know.
He never checks our Twitter. I don't know what our Twitter is. It's Good BC Live.
Well, how are we going to get it trending? Hashtag where is Sam?
Well, I guess you have to help us trend things. I don't know how to trend things.
You guys suck.
I'm not a trender.
You guys suck so much. I'm still waiting on this email too that I keep hearing about. But
what email? Oh, from us?
no, Rob said it the other a couple weeks ago. He's like, "Hey, we're going to be getting with you soon."
He doesn't check the emails. The only thing he does is
hashtag where is Sam?
Money to people that win stuff, and then I'm like, did you notice so and so sent us an email? He sent surprises though.
Someone's spending a little too much time putting little body parts into an oven.
Oh, he doesn't do that. I do. That'll be quick, he says.
That's her craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough people watching to clip us, but you never know. Never know. It just depends on who's running clip channels. Dun dun dun.
I don't know where to go from there. But I'm going to go ahead and just end the stream. I might play some Ron Jeremy on the way out just for you guys.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
I might.
Yeah, we're out of here. I'm going to go and probably play a video game and kill a zombie or something.
Well, I mean, it's. You know what? No, I've got some other stuff I'm going to play on the way out. But hey, I'll see you guys in the back room here. But I'm going to end this now because otherwise Sam is going to come and fucking whoop my ass, and I'm going to be like, "What?"
Oh, that's good content.
There's no Sam.
We want to see that. They want to see that.
I bet you would love to see that. But you would not be seeing that.
No, you would love to see Sam come in and kick your ass.
I'll be in the back room. Thank you, Loser Vix, for eventually joining in. TPR for hanging out the whole night, almost.
TPR.
I know he wants to keep going, but yeah.
All right.
Only got so much time here. So we're going to end this, and I'll see you guys in the back room here.
Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible. Fuck Bud Light.
Some people are always in a hurry. They run when they could walk. Race up steps when others take it slow. When Joe Biden's president, America is just going to have to keep up.
Eventually.